Hello, welcome to Model Kit Stuff and welcome to a 44-year-old classic kit first impressions. Welcome to Model Kit Stuff, where you'll find all of this. Hello, welcome, first impressions day, and look at this. The Matchbox Black Shadow 112 scale, 44 years old, 1980 this was released. And I don't really build motorbikes, I don't really have much interest in motorbikes. I've only ever attempted to build a motorbike before. It was a Harley Davidson. I don't remember the brand, but I know I never quite finished it. And I've been looking for a motorbike for a little while, just to do something a little bit different on the channel. And I really wanted something from the 1920s or 1930s, because I had a great aunt who was a headmistress, got an OBE for teaching, really amazing woman. And in the 1920s, she used to bomb around on a motorbike. She tried to drive a car, but the first time she drove it, she took out the carport and it all collapsed on the car. So she was motorbike riding in the 20s when, you know, it was a bit frowned upon for women even to drive a car. So she was really quite liberated for her time. And I really wanted to try and capture that, but I can't really find any kits or good kits at least, of any 1920s motorbikes, and I sort of like that vintage look. But this sort of ticked the box for me. It's a 1950s bike, the Vincent. This is a Series C, and it's called the Black Shadow, and Matchbox showing it on this artwork in black. That's not how I intend to paint it, however. Now, this would have cost you the princely sum of £2.75 back in 1980. So a very affordable kit, to be honest. Tells us that it's 112 scale, tells us that it's a model kit, and then when we look on the side, we've got a kit number here, which is PK703. Tells us that we've got 3 colours, gives us an image of the bike if you build it without painting. So we've got chrome parts, black or dark grey parts, and a sort of blue coloured parts. Tells us that it's copyright 1980, made in England, etc. The 2 sides of the box pretty much emulate the top, only we've got the kit number in big letters. And then we've got some more artists' impressions of what you could be building. It tells us we've got a Vincent Black Shadow 998cc. I think my first car engine was that big. No, it was a 999 fully integrated robust engine, fire for short, a 999 fire engine, believe it or not. The kit features metallized and 2 colour parts, authentic decals and rubber tyres. Right then, our Vincent Black Shadow instruction manual. It's gatefold. So yeah, we've got to just try and keep as close to these instructions as we can. Always a bit difficult gatefold instructions to do on camera. So it tells us we've got a Vincent Black Shadow 112 scale PK703 engine, 1000cc V twin Vincent 84 by 90mm. Ignition is a Lucas Magneto. Plugs KLG FE70. It's loads of information that I don't need or understand really, but it's there for those people that like that sort of stuff. Got an image, same as the box art, nowhere near as clear. And then we have some commentary about it. In the words of Philip Vincent, I guess he's the founder of the place, his motorcycles evolved through a burning determination not to put up with inferior if it could be avoided. Okay. Right, so let's see if we can get to step 1. No, step 38. Okay. Oh, I was just starting to wonder if we had all of the steps then, but we appear to. Bring you out a little bit. Right, so tells us we need paint. It's got some general instructions. Then we've got our basic key, and then we've got our build instructions, and we appear to be building sub-assemblies. So step 1, sub-assembly, step 2, sub-assembly, step 3. I've no idea what any of these parts are. That looks like some form of coupling or suspension bit or something. So first 6 bits are all sub-assemblies, and then in step 7 we're building up the engine block, I guess, and a couple of the sub-assemblies. So you can see there in that sort of star 2 we're putting in there. So that's not in the key, you just have to work that out. Many years of building matchbox kits as a kid, I sort of remember how it works. So yeah, various components going on. I've got no way of knowing what we should be doing with the colours on this though, because this is just purely the kit parts, no paint colours being called out. So often Matchbox will do that separately, and I guess that's what they're going to do here. Then we've got some of the bike framework going on, so that's been mounted onto the engine there, and more sub-assemblies being put in. Then when we flip over, step 11, got the piston housings going together. So yeah, we've got 2 of those being mounted on the top there. So they're 2 parts, and then you've got fittings on the top for the details, which is nice. Then we've got connection parts going onto there. Then we've got the forward part of the bike frame with the steering element in there. So it's got the big cross on it, so that's not being glued, so we should be able to move the front wheel, which will be nice. Forks being built up, speedometer being built up, so that's several parts including the decal. So we'll have the back part, the decal going onto the glass, so I'm guessing it's a reverse decal, and then the bezel going on afterwards. So that again is a sub-assembly, it stands alone from that. So yeah, I wonder if, see, yeah, they're not, I don't know, that looks like that part to me, but they're not referring to it as that. They're saying 17, so that's from 17, but we haven't got the little stars next to those, but I'm assuming it's the same thing. Yeah, we have to study the instructions a little bit. And we're mounting the hubs for the wheels there, which is interesting how we're going to put them together. So that gets us to step 20. Step 21. Speedo going on, handlebars, separate brake triggers, look a bit chunky to me, might be better in real life. Then we've got mounting plate going on, I'm guessing that's for the headlamp by the looks of it. Then we've got the front mudguard assembly, and then step 23 we're mounting it with that center point there going on the bottom of the fork. Step 24 looks like we've got a moulded in chain. Then we've got some parts going on, more parts going on. 26 we build up the seat. 27 we're mounting all of this front bit that we've been working on is then being mounted onto the top of the engine there. All sorts of other parts being put on the engine at that point. Oh, they get built up as a sub-assembly with separate bolt heads and put in. A little protective cover, some other little bits, and then we've got the tail light being put together on the registration plate mount. So that's 28 steps. We turn over then 29. And we're connecting that together, so I'm guessing that's some form of shock. Then building up the rear mudguard, putting on the registration plate, some form of T-piece there, I'm not sure what that is. So then we're mounting that on the bike. More little parts going on the engine. We keep revisiting the engine to put little parts on. It's strange, isn't it? Some couplings and bits and pieces, don't really know. Then we've got our little steps. Doesn't look like, that looks like a single piece, so it doesn't look like it's foldable. You can't have it up, but there isn't a figure, so it is sort of in its parked up configuration. And I'm guessing that's the accelerator there. Then we're building up the wheels, very simple. Tyre, they will be rubber, and then two-part spoke system, which undoubtedly are chromed and undoubtedly look very, very thick. And then we've got these little hubs going on, and that is your back wheel built up and another T-piece going in. Must have been how they locked things up. Yeah. Okay, so that's step 37. Right. Step 38 now, and we're building up the exhaust. Step 40, front wheel, pretty much the same as the back wheel. Step 42, oh, we've got some plastic rod to cut to length. So this is brake cables and all the electric cables basically. So that's nice that that's included. Quite often not the case, I think. Then in step 43, we're adding pedals on the other side, and what I think might be the bike stand. Then we've got more power electric cables going on, the exhaust being mounted on. So yeah, you've got two pipes going into one silencer pipe. Step 45, we're building up the headlamp, and we've got another little decal on there, which probably, don't know what that's telling us, fuel gauge maybe. And then the fuel tank being put together. So that's 46 steps, quite a lot of steps in this, isn't there? 49 in total. Mounting the headlamp, some more bits going on the bottom of the wheel there. Mounting the fuel tank with separate caps, which is nice. Mounting the seat, which goes on these little rods there, and then another little T-piece going on, and that completes your build. 49 steps in total. Then here we have our separate paint instructions. So it's calling out, we haven't seen the list of paints yet, but what they've done is they've put in the areas where they need to be painted. So you're painting C there. So I'm thinking C is probably black by the looks of it. And B there. So yeah. I mean, these could be chrome parts that they want you to paint and leave the other bits chrome. So don't know. We'll have to look at the paint instructions in a minute, but yeah, so you've got to keep cross-referencing to this. So you're constantly going backwards and forwards, and because you've got sub-assemblies as well. And then when we come over to this bit, right, let's do this bit first. We've got the general paint instructions for the bike, which is also telling us where to put the decals. So we've got a decal for the pinstripe on the fuel tank. We've got the Vincent logo going on the fuel tank. Then we've got the Vincent logo name going on the side, and the registration numbers going on. Oh, there's another logo there which goes on the front. Some instructions for the water slide decals. And then if we turn over to here, we've got our paint call out in different languages, and what they're doing is they're telling different shapes mean different finishes. You've got matte, semi-gloss, gloss, metallic. Before the days of commonly doing a lot of varnishing, so you'd use the paint that gave you the finish you wanted. So A, clear polyurethane, okay, and then you've got a gloss black, a semi-gloss black, a gloss black, a gloss bright red, a metallic aluminium, metallic steel, metallic silver, and those are basically your colours for this. Yeah, and then it's giving you the colour. So C black, C black, C black, really. C black, but that bit's fuzzed out, so you assume that bit's not black. Yeah, all of this is painted black basically. It's small parts giving you the paint call out. There you go, that's the instructions. Let's look at some decals. Well, thankfully the decals look okay. So, yeah, and they're nicely done actually. As always, lots of border decal film for this period. I was right, the two dials are reverse decals. No issues with the print on that, all looks good. The detail level actually in the decals is really, really nice. You can see individual lettering when I've got my magnifying glasses on. You can't read it, but you can see it's there. So it's really nicely done decal actually. And then the pinstripes in gold, they look good. So there shouldn't be any issues with the decals. Tyres now, they are rubber and they are solid, but they're actually really quite nice. We've got sidewall writing on them. I would suggest not quite in the right place. That's on the inside. I'd imagine they'd be right on the apex there, but I might be wrong. It seems to be in the right place or a better position on this smaller one. So we've got a wider tyre and a thinner tyre. I'm guessing the wider tyre is the back one. Two different treads as well, which is interesting. But they're done really quite nicely. So just a gentle rub to get rid of the seam, and away you go. So yeah, it looks a little bit scrappy on this inside surface, but again, you can just go in with a little bit of light sanding paper and just take that back. So yeah, nothing wrong with those. The sidewall writing is nice and clear. So yeah, I have no issues with these at all. They're really quite nice tyres. Then we've got this plastic rod, which is really flexible. So I like that. It's in a sort of very dark grey colour. So I don't even think it needs painting. I think it just wants cutting to length and gluing on. So that's a really nice addition. Yeah, really happy with this actually. This shouldn't be a problem at all. Clear parts now, and got a little bit of scuffing, but nothing that won't be polished out on this one. So this being this Speedo dial. Then we've got this little one in the centre, which is nice, which is going to have the fuel gauge behind it. And then we've got the headlamp, which is textured on the inside, just as the real glass lamp would have been. So it looks really, really cool. Absolutely spot on that. Really nice actually. Right, now how this was originally bagged, I don't know, because there was no bags. The parts were loose but wrapped in bubble wrap when I bought this. So this is the first of the chrome sprues. And what's bothering me is these great big, look at those. They're going to damage all sorts of things. So what I'm going to do with my old nippers is just whip them off so that we've not got them causing any more damage to the kit. Yeah, so we've got the spoked wheels, and actually they're not too bad. Yeah, but the chrome isn't great on them. If you can see that, see if we get the camera to focus. Yeah, you can see the shine disappears as it gets close to the centre there. And you've got all sorts of seam on there, which is all visible, of course. So you're going to want to strip the chrome off, which I believe household bleach is the best way to go. In fact, some of the chrome has rubbed off this over time. You can see there, chrome is missing. Then we've got the mud guards, which you're not going to see on the inside pretty much, but you've got the number in there, so some people might want to remove that. Again, the chrome has rubbed off in places, so it does need stripping. Chrome always makes you lose definition on the parts. So yeah, these parts here look like they've got a bit of sink, so yeah, there's too much work needed on these parts for them to be left in their chrome state. So yeah, that's the first one. But otherwise, they look all good. There's no real issues. Fairly chunky sprue gates on them, so some careful cleanup. But otherwise, okay. Right, this is our next sprue out, and it's the second and last of the chromed parts. We've got nice chromed exhausts there, and lots and lots of tiny parts, bolt heads, which have got the Vincent logo on, which is really nice. I'll bring you in a bit closer actually. So bolt heads have got the Vincent logo on, which is really nice. And we've got all sorts of little caps and connectors and fasteners, some of which have got sinking, but that's the underside, the connecting part, so no real issue. There is sink in the cap, so we'll have to sort that out. And there's a fair bit of seam on the handlebars, which will need sorting. But actually, the brakes, which in the instructions looked a bit chunky, don't look so bad now. So again, we'll have to strip the chrome off. There's too much work to leave it on, to be honest. Which is, I always think it's a bit of a shame because it does look nice. But I think we can do possibly a better job with some chrome tape on some of these parts, like the exhaust. What we will do though is probably leave the centre of the lamp, because that looks pretty good. We don't have any cleanup on that surface, so we might just take that off, remove the chrome on the mating surfaces and leave that as it is. So that's a good part to go. Yeah, but you can see there's a lot of lumpiness in the chrome plating. So strip it all off and what have you. I believe it was a 2-dip process. So it went in, got dipped in a something that helped it sort of bond, and then the chrome went on afterwards, and that's why you lose the definition, because you've got two layers of stuff going over all the plastic. So we can strip all that back, clean it all up, and then do our best to try and get a nice highly polished metal finish when we're done. But yeah, nothing wrong with these parts. It's just clean up, a little bit of sink filling if it's visible, which is all sort of par for the course for 1980s model kits. So this is our black sprue, and we've got fuel tanks, bits of frame, bits of engine, drive chain, lamps and speedo, parts for the support support bars for the mud guards, the front forks there, back registration plate, some of these mounting points all in, and it's all nice and crisply moulded. I mean, the Vincent logo is nicely done. We've got some fastener heads there, really nicely done, hex head bolts, really lovely actually. Yeah, here we've got little numbers. See if we can get you in a bit closer. So there's little numbers depicted on there, and they're nice and sharp. There's no soft moulding. Got a little bit of sink in places, which, you know, we will have to deal with. The parts are quite scuffed. I imagine they were all in one bag originally. But yeah. Otherwise, it's just a bit of seam cleanup. There you go. It says Dynamo on the Dynamo. I do have a damaged part. I've got quite a bit of sink in there, but I don't know if that gets covered up with something going on top. This part is loose, but this part here we can see is damaged. And I'm tempted to see if I can... You can see how it's broken away from the sprue. I'm tempted to see if we can just pop that back in so it sits right. We might be able to repair that in situ now. Yeah, let's have a go. There we go. That's that dealt with, hopefully. Just hold it there for a sec. So yeah, everything looks really nice. They've got all sorts of writing on, which looks good. There is sink in quite a few places. We can see some here on the... If I get that in the light, you can see. So sink, plenty of it to sort out, but you know, this is all model skills. I do recommend, if you're fairly new to modelling, get yourself a couple of old kits, because they teach you all these skills that you need that you might come across. But yeah, nothing wrong with those. I'll show you some close-up pictures at the end. Let's have a look at the next one. Right, last sprue, blue-grey in colour. We have one part that's detached itself, but doesn't seem to be damaged, but it's got some really nice detail on it. Let's see if I can get you in. There we go, can you see? It's got some lovely detail on there, and I'm really impressed with the moulding detail they put in, although a lot of these parts are fairly blank. So we've got the top frame of the bike where we're going to mount the fuel tank. I have no idea what that part is. The seat base and the seat top, which has some sort of texturing on. Not sure I like it, but it's there. Yeah, more parts for the forks. Yeah, moulded in, but moulded in nicely. Then we've got the pedals, which again have the Vincent logo on, or Vincent wording I should say. Sure looks really nice. Yeah, several of those. All sorts of little mounting parts, engine bits, rods. They're a bit distorted, but we might straighten them up when we put them on, or replace them with some metal bar. But I can see that they've been distorted a little bit, got sag in them. Yeah, another broken part here. A fork, shouldn't be a problem to repair that. Let's have a go now. This is the problem when things are in one bag or taken out of the bag and then stored for many, many years. Cooling fins, yeah, fairly nicely done actually. Maybe get a scriber in there and deepen them a little bit, which you can do at this scale obviously. Yeah, not too shabby all in all. it's not got a massive number of parts. I reckon I'm going to guess around about 120 parts maybe in total. Right then. So there you have it, the Matchbox 1 to 12 scale Vincent Series C Black Shadow from 1980. What is my first impressions? Let's start with the instructions. The instructions, I don't think they flow particularly well. There's lots of sub-assemblies, and then you don't use the sub-assemblies for a few steps, and then you come back and use them. There was lots of bobbing to and from the engine, adding bits, then coming back later and adding more bits, then coming back later and adding more bits. So I think the flow probably needs some attention before you start. Effectively, you're building up sub-assemblies anyway and bringing it together at the end, and you need to think about how you're going to paint it. So there's a lot of thought needs to be put into the instruction planning stage before you start cutting parts off the sprue. So instructions, not amazing. You've got to do some cross-referencing for the painting as well. So not I mean, fairly typical for Matchbox, but not amazing really. They were never as good as Airfix instructions, in my honest opinion. Then paint call-outs themselves, no particular problems with that, and they are highlighting all the parts that need to be painted differently. So yeah, very, very nice. The parts themselves, well, decals. What decals we've got have been done really well, actually, and I'm really pleased they've survived. But yeah, they've been done really well, so I'm happy with them. But the original quality of the decals was really good. You know, they've got the little details on and bits and pieces, so it'll look fantastic. The parts themselves, well, for 1980, they're a good average, I think. Quite a bit of sink in them and a bit of seam cleanup, but no flash particularly, and lots and lots of nice moulding. You've got the Vincent name on all sorts of things, and it's been sharply moulded. It's not, you know, it's not rough like some other brands' kits, Revell and Airfix at the time, could be. So yeah, I think the plastic parts generally are really, really quite good. Obviously, we want to strip the chrome off, and some of the chrome's been rubbed off over years. But when the kit first came out, it would have been that would have been really nice without all the scuffing. It would have looked really, really nice. And some people might have got away with building it using most of the chrome parts still chromed, but in this day and age, we just wouldn't do that. So yeah, there's more work in this than it would seem. I can't see anywhere a number of parts, but I reckon in around about 120 off the. I think is probably a good estimate. I like the fact that they included some cabling, although clearly from the pictures it's been simplified somewhat with brake cables and major electric cables only. But that's something the modeler can upgrade if they wish. When it's finished, this is about 18 centimeters long, so it's a nice size. So all in all, I think it's a nice looking bike and a nice, well put together kit. You've got all the main parts. Yeah, it's not going to blow you away. It's not got metal chains and stuff like that. It's not like a relatively new Tamiya offering, but it should be a lot of fun to build, and that's the main point of it. Now, I did say at the start of this video that this is a black shadow, but I don't intend to do it black. Now, the original owner of this kit, I'm guessing, was a classic bike enthusiast, because in the box was this. So it's a page from the Classic Motorcycle in November 2012, so maybe not even the original owner. So this could be third hand for all I know. This was an eBay purchase. But that has a couple of pictures. And doesn't it look stunning in red? So this is the 1950 Vincent Touring Rapid, so it's effectively the same bike in red, probably some subtle changes. I'm not going to worry about that. But yeah, I really like this red colour with that pale brown. Whether that's original or not, I don't know. I'm going to do some research. But then when we fold this out, we have it in extra close up. So I'm thinking of doing it red. I think it looks absolutely stunning in the red. Yeah, that will be quite eye-catching on my display shelf. So there you have it, the Matchbox Vincent Black Shadow in 112. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm actually looking forward to building it, and I'm, have no real interest in bikes, so yeah. But I hope you enjoyed this, and you now know what's in the box. There's lots of these knocking around. They're not expensive, so if you fancy having one, go and get yourself one, because it's a nice kit actually. So thanks very much for looking in. You enjoy your modelling, and I'll see you very soon. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so. It's free, and that way you won't miss my first impressions, my tool reviews, my product reviews, and any of my builds, including wooden model kits as well as plastic. It's all free, and if you'd like to support the channel, you can hit my PayPal link in the text below. Every pound goes straight into the channel to keep the cameras rolling and to do more fun stuff for you to watch.